Hi, I'm Andrea with AZ Whole Health. Release pain, remove stress, reclaim your whole health. Today I wanted to talk about a little bit more about my story and how I came to be a Reiki practitioner, sound healer, and health coach. So it's a bit long. I mean, it's my whole life, so it might take a second, but hopefully you'll bear with me. I guess, yeah, I'll start from the beginning. So I was a pretty sick kiddo. I came into this world and I had a slew of problems. Asthma, allergies. I had my tonsils removed when I was 4. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia when I was 8. And I had a number of occasions where I got sick and then I'd get pneumonia. So I had some scarring in my lungs as well. So I got really, really close with my doctor to the point where we had like inside jokes, which is not something you want your child to have, I'm sure. But yeah, it was a struggle and it was hard. It was hard because I guess I would look around me and I would see my cousins or I'd see my sister or my friends. And I mean, they were just healthy. Like they could go outside and enjoy themselves and just play and not have to be like stuffing Kleenexes up their nose or I mean, I was allergic to everything, so I couldn't eat wheat or corn or dairy. I mean, yeah, I had lots of things. And then it kind of kept getting added to. I mean, in high school, I was diagnosed with acid reflux or GERD, I guess it's called. And so again, I mean, I had drugs for all of these things too. So I was sick and I was loaded up with prescriptions. And I remember asking my doctor at one point, I'm like, is there anything I can do? Like, you know, as I'm getting older, I don't want to be on these drugs anymore and I don't want to be sick. And yeah, he said no, like that was it, you know, like I was going to be on these prescription pills for the rest of my days. That sucks. Like that's like kind of a life sentence. I mean, yes, I was thankful that I had the use of my limbs and I was like essentially okay, but it wasn't the life that I wanted. Yeah, so I mean, the first change, I guess, that happened was going vegan. So that, I mean, changing my diet, which they told me wouldn't make any difference, made a huge difference. So it was amazing to see that, you know, removing animal products from my diet, all of a sudden I didn't have the same issues that I was having with the asthma and with the allergies. And then I removed gluten, which I had started eating wheat again as I got older. I removed that gluten and all of a sudden I didn't have to take acid reflux pills anymore. And it was just like, okay, so wait a second. Everything I've been told is not true. I was empowered. All of a sudden I realized that, yeah, I could impact my own health, that I wasn't just a victim or a product of my circumstance. So I mean, yeah, that was eye-opening. And going vegan, yeah, made a huge change in my life, not only physically, but emotionally, and just my connection with everything, I think, became more clear. And so that led me into the health coaching realm, because it was like, well, you know, I'm keen. I want to know how to take care of my health, how to reclaim my health for myself. And other people were interested in getting that help too. So yeah, so I took my designation with IIN, Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and got my health coaching designation through them. And that was kind of the first step in the chain. So all of a sudden, yeah, I'm making some huge dietary changes and like looking at all the wheels and the spokes of health, making sure I was taking care of my relationships and my sleep hygiene and, you know, having a spiritual practice. So, I mean, I was looking at all those things and again, making changes and making improvements, and it was great. But I still was having issues with that fibromyalgia piece. I still would have days if I pushed it too hard or if I stayed up late where I'd wake up and I'd be in pain, you know, like all down my arms and legs. So fibromyalgia, as a bit of an aside, is kind of, it's an autoimmune disorder. They haven't really figured out why, in terms of like what causes it and how to treat it. They have medications, pain medications that they'll put you on, but I didn't want to go on any of those. So I tried to mitigate any issues I was having through diet and lifestyle, which did pretty good. I mean, I definitely knew that I needed to go to bed early and eat whole food and rest and exercise and, all the things they tell you to do. So I would do those things and that was great. But every once in a while I'd get hit and I would have troubles getting out of bed and just feel widespread pain throughout my body, which is not what I wanted. I mean, I'd had, I guess, fibromyalgia symptoms since I was 8. So I had gotten used to it. It'd become kind of my normal. But again, I'd look around me at people at university and I'd be like, why am I, like, I'm not even 21 and why am I experiencing all this pain and suffering? Why do I have to live like an 80-year-old to mitigate it? So anyways, fast forward a few years and I ended up, I think, talking with a friend who was going to take her Reiki level 1 course. And I had no idea what that was. I mean, I'd heard the term Reiki, but I'd had no experience with it. And I mean, coming from a scientific background, so I have a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Conservation. I guess I was kind of looking for the science in a sense. I didn't really understand energy healing or energy work. But I mean, I don't know what it was. It was like somebody flipped the switch and I was like, yeah, I need to take that course too. Like, what? I had never gone to a Reiki practitioner, nor had I any sense of what that meant. So before I took the course, I contacted the teacher and asked to come for a session because I thought maybe I should, before I fully commit and jump in the deep end, I should try it out for myself. And it was incredible. I mean, I laid on the table, on this massage table, and the practitioner wasn't physically manipulating my body. Like, it wasn't like I was going to physio or chiropractic, which I had gone to a lot through my life. They weren't, cracking my neck or physically adjusting my body in any way. But I was feeling all these things. Like, I felt, I mean, it wasn't necessarily, I wouldn't say it's good. It wasn't like I was feeling like I was in heaven, but it felt like I'd almost, I guess, all the fibromyalgia kind of came up, but it was like it was being moved out, all that pain and stiffness and like kind of stuck feeling. And I'd had like kind of an asthma allergy attack on the table. I mean, there was no stimuli to elicit that response. And she wasn't, my teacher, or who became my teacher, the Reiki practitioner at the time, she wasn't doing anything. She was maybe laying her hands gently on my body, but not in a way that should have caused an asthma attack. And again, I hadn't had really any asthma symptoms for years, beyond some residual scarring and things from the pneumonia. So yeah, it was wild. So I'm experiencing all these things on the table, and I think the session's over and we're talking, me and this gal who became my teacher, she told me something, and I just felt this pang in my heart center, and it hurt. And then I felt the pain kind of radiate out through my body, through my legs and my arms. And I was like, whoa, like in my head or my experience, that was what I ascribed to fibromyalgia pain. And she was like, wow, like you felt that, hey? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you just need to release it. Like, let it go through you and out your feet and just ground. We've been talking, I think, about women's liberation and how long it took for us to get the vote. And yeah, as a lady, I really felt that pain and that suffering that we'd experienced. And instead of letting it go, I kind of hung on to it and felt it in my body and in my arms and legs specifically. So I was like, oh my goodness, like what? Like maybe the pain that I'm experiencing isn't physical in origin. What? So I mean, what that meant for me at the time was like, okay, well, I've been trying to address these issues, what I thought was a physical issue, with physical solutions. Diet, exercise, getting rest, seeing the chiropractor, massage therapist, all these things. And nothing, like, they gave me temporary relief, but it was never getting to the heart of the matter, which I am all about, getting to the heart of the matter. So, I mean, having this Reiki session, I was like, wow, okay, now we're getting to the heart of the matter. And obviously I signed up for the course, and I could, like, how could I not, right? And I ended up taking my level 1, my level 2, and my level 3 in Komyo Reiki through this practitioner who became my teacher. And yeah, just like a whole other world. I guess I realized, yeah, I mean, the things that we see on the surface aren't necessarily all there is. And I was given tools to be able to like navigate this world. I guess I would say that I'm an empath. I mean, that's a loaded word, I'm sure, but I experience other people's emotions or what's going on in their body. And I didn't know that. I mean, that's not something we talked about in elementary school, for example. And so, yeah, learning more about Reiki and energy healing, I was gifted the tools of, is this mine? Is it theirs? Am I grounded? How do I navigate my life well, basically? And it just it was almost like opening Pandora's box, right? So all of a sudden I got all this information, and yeah, just the researcher in me, all of a sudden down this rabbit hole. So I got into Reiki, and then that led me into other modalities like vibrational color therapy or chromotherapy. And I got into crystal healing. And then a big one I got into was sound healing. So I use tuning forks as part of my practice as well. And that makes a huge, huge difference in combination with Reiki. So yeah, I mean, that's a little bit about my story and how I came to be doing what I do. And yeah, I'd love to talk more with you if you want to come for a session, or even I've got a complimentary free 15-minute call and Reiki practice. So yeah, if you want to contact me and learn more, please do so. All the information is at the bottom of this webpage. Or linked in the description below, depending on where you're viewing this. So yeah, hope you have a great day, and I will